All right, everyone. Welcome to our TrueUp webinar. Looked like we had some trouble with the streaming into LinkedIn Live, so we're going to default over to doing it just straight in Zoom. What we'll cover today is we're going to talk about the new user subscription model, talk about provisional members and TrueUp, and then go through the TrueUp toolkit dashboard. So the new Smartsheet user subscription model, that replaces the traditional static license assignment with a more flexible usage-based model. So they've simplified the seat types so that we now have 4 roles: member, guest, viewer, and provisional member. Provisional members get full access temporarily at no charge until they take qualifying actions. And only members are paid users. Others, such as guests and viewers, are free. And you're going to see a quarterly TrueUp, or if you're on a monthly plan, this will happen monthly, to review the usage, and then you can downgrade inactive users, remove their access, or approve additional seats. And when you approve additional seats, then that will have a cost implication. Now, the newest user and the one that maybe causes some confusion is the provisional member. So a provisional member can temporarily use all of the Smartsheet features without charge. And someone becomes a provisional member, it's triggered by them being shared to a core asset with commenter or above permissions. So whether that's a sheet, a report, a dashboard, if they have anything beyond view permissions, that's going to trigger that provisional member ticker. Taking a comment or above action on those assets then is the second part of that triggering. So we share with them, and then they actually do something with it. When the provisional period ends, then the system admins can decide whether or not to make them a paid member, right? So you have a choice on whether you're going to increase your license count. But if you take no action, they will automatically, for now, they will automatically switch over. So, you know, that gives you a little bit of scariness, if you will, because you might not realize that someone's going to become a licensed user until it's too late, right? So provisional members can turn into those paid seats if you're not paying attention. But fortunately, it's very easy to manage that process. So what we built is a TrueUp toolkit, and through that, then we'll help explore the Smartsheet Admin Center. We'll go through cost control actions, talk about cleanup actions, and do some general housekeeping. So let's go ahead and look at that. So this dashboard, which we can share with you, at the top are just some important resources that you may want to take advantage of if you want to book a call with us. We've got a deep research report on the new model. You can check out our Smarter Operations channel, and if you want to see our activity on Forbes or on LinkedIn, just click on those. So in the toolkit dashboard, we've got a reminder and an overview of what the user subscription model is. So you can see, again, what we talked about here. The seat types of the new model are the viewer. That's an internal or external user. They can view assets that have been shared. They can submit forms or receive update requests, but they can't edit, comment, or create content. A viewer does not need a license. You'll compare that to the old legacy collaboration model where someone could edit or comment without a license. Under the new model, that's no longer true. Then you have guests. These are external users, so they're a domain outside of your licensed domain. They can be given editor or commenter access, but they can't create sheets or reports, and they can't be an admin. A guest does not require a license. So if you're collaborating with maybe subcontractors or your clients, in most cases, they're not going to need a license to collaborate with you. And then a member is your internal licensed users, and they get all the power. In the TrueUp toolkit, we've got more detail on understanding who a provisional member is, how long that provisional access happens, and then what you need to do. So the next thing that you want to do is really think about the Smartsheet Admin Center. And so we're going to go ahead and take you through. I'll give you an example of what that looks like. So one of the things that we do is manage Smartsheet accounts for our clients. And so this is a video of doing that. You'll get an email when you have an upcoming TrueUp. And so that gives you an opportunity to see what's going on. If you click on that review usage button, it'll take you to the Smartsheet Admin Center. And in that, you can take a look and see that, it's indicating that we have some additional seats that are needed. And so we can just click on that and manage a TrueUp. One of the things that's really helpful is to download a seat type report because that will give you a lot more detail of what's going on with folks. But if we go into the TrueUp report, we can see that we've got the folks listed who are provisional members. You can see that the billing cycle, when it's going to convert to where you're going to have to pay for them. And then what I like to do is I like to sort that by the last activity, right? And put the oldest activity up to the top. And so as we look at these users, we can see that we've got somebody who hasn't done anything in over 2 months. And so what that allows us to think about is, gosh, do we want to downgrade them, either remove their access or make them a viewer? And so if you click on that provisional member drop down, you can see that the different types of seats are reflected there, and you can make a decision to change them or downgrade them. And so if we come back to the toolkit, we've got an example of that. You can see where we went to our admin center. We took a look at our plan. And this was prior to doing some cleanup. So we actually originally had 6 additional seats that we were going to have to purchase. But if you come down and think about the cost control actions, again, we've got the various seat types. Someone who's a provisional member will automatically become a licensed member, and you'll have to pay for them unless you do something like make them a viewer or give them no access. So in this example, we had a user that we wanted to make a viewer. When you choose that, you'll get a little bit of a warning. So changing this member to a viewer will impact many items. They'll have to request permissions for each item again. And they can't collaborate on their existing items, and it's going to remove them from groups. So once you can change them to viewer. They'll still be in the system, but you'll have to go back and give them access as needed. So there's a little bit of an administrative burden there once you've done that. The other choice you have is to remove access. And so again, that's going to remove them from everything, kind of the same type of indications, but you're taking them completely out of having access to your systems. So we talked about getting that seat user type report. And that is where we go deeper with the TrueUp toolkit. So we can take a look and see each of our members and our provisional members. And when we collaborate with a lot of external users, then we want to see who's external and who's internal. And so the reason that you will have a provisional member who's an external user is that if they are creating things within your system, or if they have admin rights, if they're going to do stuff beyond editing, even though they may have a license on their own system, they still need to be licensed on yours. So in this report, what we do is we take a look and we group folks that are members and provisional members, and we can take a look and see, how active are they? And, when was that last activity? So we can take a look and see that, most of these folks are fairly active. And so we may want to keep them, running things. But we actually made choices where we looked and said, you know what? After we examined these folks, we decided that we were going to downgrade them. And so that's where we were able to bring down our provisional seats from 6 down to 1 that I showed you in that video. And so the recommendation that we have is you go through and you do the cost control actions by converting those provisional members to viewers if they don't need to have full rights, and that will prevent a provisional member from becoming a licensed user. And then, there's just some other cleanup that you ought to do, even though it has no cost impact. So looking at that user report again, we've got a report where we just take a look and take a look at the seat type. We've got the guests. And for folks that haven't had any activity in greater than 90 days, we may want to consider removing them from the account, right? Because even though we're not paying for them, from a security perspective, do we need to do anything with it? As we go through the report, one of the things that we take a look at is, well, how many of assets do they have editor permission? So, how much do they collaborate with the rest of the team? They would come in, and same thing true with the viewers. Again, folks that actually don't have any assets that they've been then shared with, we may want to remove them just to clean that up. And so that's really what allows you to go in and manage, just from a good housekeeping perspective, to get a sense of cleanup for the users. And then from the last report on the dashboard is this summary report that looks at all users. And so we can see, gosh, how many guests, how many members, how many provisional members and viewers do we have at any one time? We can expand those to see, are they internal or external? And so that's how you can use the dashboard to better manage and look at your systems. And of course, if you simply want to go into the admin center itself, if you have those rights, click on your face in the lower left-hand corner. When you select Admin Center, then that will call up the information on your plan. And this is my internal account. So I'm still on the legacy model. So you'll see that it looks a little bit different with users, licensed users. But again, you can come in here and download that user type report. And that gives you a lot of detail on individual users and what they've been doing. What we do then is import that in to our dashboard. So with that, let's go back to the presentation. And just a little bit about us. If you'd like help tackling your TrueUp, we're industry consultants, been working at it since 2002. We've been Smartsheet consultants since 2014. You can see recommendations that we've had for the work that we've done. So I think you can trust us to help you. And after the live event, if you've got some questions, you can stay on and join the party, and we can go and do some deep dives. And then mark your calendars because our next event is going to be coming up on August 12th. And we're going to talk about the new Smartsheet views. The table view is brand new. The timeline is relatively new. And then the other views have been around for a while, but we're going to have a live walkthrough and talk about best practices